Hello and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. I'm Luce and no avatar tonight because we're just doing a recording. We're going to do the next stage of the Mamool Ja while I possibly reminisce and give thoughts as they are ongoing. A new Yaktail. He's reveling in the harvest. This isn't the final one, but it is the penultimate one. Thanks to all your help with the Gainery Coda, more crops than ever are thriving under our new lights. The kitchen's been getting good use as well. I've heard nothing but glowing reviews of our produce. Dare I ask how the preparation of your legendary disc proceeds, Mamool Ja? Perfectly. Can't wait to start cooking, in fact. Can you cook? Not at all. Until Yolol, I never wanted for places to eat, so I never picked a bab at you. If I had time to develop culinary prowess, I'd rather be researching. As long as it's nutritionally sound, I take little heed of what I eat. Yeah, that's, the game has made it very clear that's generally the Charlian way of looking at things. So the kitchen's gonna need some more recipes. So I'm the only chef here? Technically, I do have Culinarian at 100, so I could definitely do it. Man of many talents, eh? But for this new dish, we'll need specific help. Namely, the people of Ikbrox. To make the Zebrok Pibil, their cooperation is paramount. I was hoping to show them what we've been growing here. That's a wonderful idea. Do you have any acquaintances? I understand there's a proactive communication may have been... proactive communication may have been sparse, even in light of the peace accord. Even in light of the peace accord. Tyrant Row from the Brethren is of a friendly sort. You seem to be the ones directly interacting with them for a bit, so it might be the easiest one to start with. You know him as well? I met him when his brethren came through on official business. Lovely fellow. Let's see if we can't find him. Yeah, the reason I've got these stored is, after this one, this isn't the final one, there will be another level after, but the bad news is, whoops. Yeah, there is a level after this, but the bad news is, you don't get another freebie, a free day on it. You have to actually go through the full 10 days, which is why I decided to get these ready to turn in immediately. Plus, it'll be a good demonstration. That's kind of funny. I've got a bit of a lukewarm feeling towards the expansion overall, and yet I seem to be playing it a bit more than I usually do when it comes to these expansions. I guess perhaps it's a good reminder that the game has more to offer than just the main storyline. I mean, it's not the greatest gameplay around, but I mean, even just heading over to my island sanctuary and picking some flowers while waiting for a queue is kind of nice. And yes, figuring out things to do while waiting on queue is kind of important because, again, I'm a DPS main. I have to wait on those a lot. But then again, I also did actually try hunt trains, and those are definitely the most interactive you'll see with randos. People are talking, memeing in chat. You get to see everyone's mounts and titles, which usually they'll have the one that they worked hardest to unlock. There's definitely a good bit to see on offer there. Plus, those are community organized, they're not official, so that's players making... And players have been running that since, at least Stormblood. It might have been in Heavensward as well, but I don't remember, honestly. Hunts were introduced during Realm Reborn, but I honestly kind of completely ignored them by and large. Which is clearly my loss, because look how much fun I'm having with them now. And of course... Though I suppose I have always done these reputation quests regardless of expansion. Oh, Revolta, Coda, what odd yet welcome bedfellows. What can I do for you? We had something to ask. You know about Kakolma, right? I was hoping we could use the vegetables grown in our gainery to fashion a new type of cuisine with Ikbrox. If it's cuisine you want, talk with Bold Say. Since retiring from the Brethren of Brax, he's become fascinated with cooking. He'll even travel all the way to Tuliyola for ingredients to whip up something new. I'll vouch for the quality. I've enjoyed many a delicious supper from him. I just saw him now on the north side of town, so if you hurry, you might be able to catch him. Alright, got it. Yeah, this feels a lot better than the actual Yachtel's story from the main story, I'm gonna be honest. The contest was okay, but it feels like they didn't really do anything interesting with it. But meanwhile, we're actually seeing, you know, the fruits of our labor here, of people working towards improving in their respective towns. I know your face, adventurer, but what business do you have here, Mamool Ja? Pardon me, sir, but you bold stay? Yeah, we were looking for a culinary expert, and he recommended we seek you out. We've been growing vegetables in Mamook, crops of all colors, shapes, sizes, and we want to make a new dish with our produce along with our friends here. You had me cook for you. As your friend? You speak lightly of what you know, little boy. I grew up on stories of the old war and know all too well the facade of peace that's poisoned the forest. For years I've watched Mamook shift not an inch, chasing false dreams of blessed siblings while looking down on lessers. Yeah, we're right. I left Mamook for precisely that very reason. I moved to Tuliola, all because I hated my homeland. When I heard my people stood on the precipice of change, I remembered how to hope. If the fruits of our labors can be shared with you, if our communities can make a new dish that puts the past behind us, that I believe will serve as real proof. It'll be Mamook's first purposeful step into a bigger and brighter world. I suppose having a look at these vegetables couldn't hurt. The company you keep will certainly lead credence to your plea. Thank you, sir. Allow me to escort you to our granary. Yeah, there are some perks to being hero of the realm, and using our influence to push for some good change is one of them. Our character may be a goody two-shoes, but, well, that doesn't change. You can have some fun with it. I do enjoy it. And Cold Crescent did remind me that I do like these field operations, just like Eureka. Maybe once that's over with, I will go back to Bozja, especially since the next expansion is definitely not going to have one, or at least not right away. Though I still stand by my statement. Well, all the field operations were pretty heavily criticized upon their release, and then in 2 years, the fanbase considers it peak content. Now granted, part of that is the initial releases, the earlier part is usually the weaker part. Like, Bozja, the Southern Front, is usually considered a lot weaker than Zadnor later, to my understanding. And likewise, I can personally confirm that Anemos and Pagos are nowhere near as fun as Pyros and Hydratos, so getting more areas to refine it a bit does certainly help, but... one step at a time, I have every confidence this will work. Sometimes you can't rush it, yeah. I can hardly believe I've never imagined the GTK Heartland could offer such yields. Yeah, the Gainery being a very visible change from what was here before is probably the biggest indicator that things are different. It works a lot better than words, that's for sure. I was hoping we would combine our ingredients, crops from our granary with the bounty from your forests, just like the Zobruk Pobil was made. Huh. Zobruk Pobil, you dream big, boy, I'll give you that. These crops were first grown for Mamook's own welfare, but I would share them with our Zovaral brothers and sisters. I firmly believe together our people are stronger. As do I. The Autarch. Allow me to humbly beg for your assistance as well. I have renounced the old teachings and knowledge of the mistakes of the past. The Mamook must make amends. Will you not help us to do so? Now, the words alone wouldn't be enough, but the fact that there's a public kitchen and a granary here that could never have existed before. If the Autarch himself is asking, I obviously stand in a brand new Mamook. Very well, if you wish to join hands with us, let us feast together once more. The bounties you have grown here will be reimagined to a dish befitting both of our people. You have my thanks. And you have done well with this granary. It has given me much to think about regarding your Brox. Yeah, yeah, while he did allow it, he was really you could tell he was iffy about it at first, so I guess it helps a lot. We were able to do this. Especially since the Mamool Ja and Brox, the Mamool Ja themselves did a lot of it, as well as yeah, I mean, we did help, but remember, we just helped them do chores here and there. The heavy lifting was still done by the people of Mamuk. Send word once preparations have been made. I'd be glad to attend the banquet. We have our work cut out for us. Let's see this through then. First of all, I'd like to know more about the Mamool Ja culinary preferences. Could I first ask you to conduct a survey? You got it. You can rely on me. If you don't mind, I'll leave you to it, Coda. I plan to return to Ikbrox. I like to invite as many people as I can, including Zabrox Rocks, once I pluck up the nerve. Sounds good to me. Thank you. If we all work together, I'm certain we can make this a success. This seems pretty low stakes, since worst case they'll just be divided a little longer, but when done right, even low stakes can feel pretty good. Eager Elder. But there, Shunny. When I was young, I used to think meat was a delicacy, but this belly of mine can't tolerate it much anymore. Now I prefer the sweet vegetables we grow in the lovely garden. I'm sure the old folk feel similarly. Alright, got it. Amiable youth. My favorite dish is Zabrock Propil. There was talk of the city after the Rise succession. Not only is the meat delicious, but knowing our Najul leaves play such a crucial role is a point of pride. My favorite food? Well, I couldn't get enough of the tacos when I was in Tuliolol. The weight of them in your hand, the satisfaction of biting in, you felt you were eating, you know? And Aunt T's signature spice. Oh, but I'm sure you end up whatever you end up making will also be good. If there's any way to help, let me know. Tuliolol returnee. Right, it makes sense others would want to come back, either to see family or at least temporarily to see what about the gainery that's probably gaining traction. Don't get me wrong, I don't exactly expect Mamuk to open a tourist or anything after this, but the point is it's meant to be the first step to opening up. You're back. What did you discover? That's helpful, thank you. With a better understanding of folks' preferences, I believe I know what sort of dish we're looking for. We need some Zabral Loach for the marinade. Could you fish me one? They should bite with the stuff you got. Good, I'll start preparing the kitchen and other ingredients, so hurry back. I think I mentioned, but I used to use these reputation quests as a way to get XP for jobs. That and GC turn-ins for crafters and gatherers. In fact, all mine reached 100 almost entirely because of those turn-ins. What can I say? You can just buy the items off the market board, and then that's half a level to a full level each day, depending on whether it's a bonus and whether or not it's high quality, but generally most players will only sell high quality ones. I mean, they might try to get rid of regular quality just to dump them, but if they're actually trying to make a profit off lazy people like me, they will make it high quality. Although I guess it can still be win-win, since if it's regular quality, you don't get nearly as many rewards, but it's usually dirt cheap compared to high quality. Though in terms of gear, they do seem to balance. If you're using crafted gear, it seems to be balanced, assuming that it's high quality, because the normal quality gives crap stats, if we're honest. Or I guess you could just buy gear with scripts. Given the origin of those, I guess it just highlights the concept of those. Well, I guess I can give a short history lesson. Basically, scripts were used during a period of American history when they had company towns, which, long story short, people lived there so they could go to work more easily. However, they were basically designed so that anyone there could never leave. I mean, first of all, they paid you in scripts rather than actual money, so that if you ever left the job, you wouldn't be able to just start over somewhere else because you didn't have any real money. They were only honored by the company that gave them the store the company gave them to you. They also typically tracked how much anyone had to make sure you were spending it regularly, in order to basically make sure you weren't saving up for something really big for whatever reason. It was pretty nasty, as yeah. Well, there are most definitely corrupt unions and such. Those events were stuff that caused those to exist in the first place, because otherwise nothing stopped companies, since workers were easy to replace. And yet, supposedly, the people running them weren't. Maybe that's getting a bit too into things, but yeah. Point is, the game has never ever really compromised on Rowena being a horrible person. In fact, I even did, for some glam, I did the Sky Steel tool relic for one of my crafting jobs, and wow, a lot of that storyline was just because Rowena screwed over the people running it so much. Apparently she knew they had nowhere else to go, so she was able to force them into the worst possible terms themselves, the best possible ones for herself. And they have no choice. Very nasty. Did you find what we need? Yes, this will do nicely. Good work. You can leave the rest of the preparations to me. I imagine Mamool Ja will be back soon. If there's anyone else like to invite the banquet, now would be the time. Speak with Angier. Word isn't, we're in for quite a feast. Word is, we're in for quite a feast. My role here has been strictly one of research and facilitating growth of new crops. But it is a joy and honor to know those very crops now link to desperate peoples. Shall we go and assist the banquet preparations? Feast your eyes upon Yaktel's newest creation, a bounty of 2 forests. Tika Selvas. Oh, those look delicious. Why must the food in this game always make me hungry? The brethren of the Brack supplied the game, farmers of Grakoma provide the vegetables, the marinating and meat. To juicy perfection, I placed it in soft, fresh bread and prepared sweet yet spicy sauce for anyone who desires it. The elders. You came. I could hardly refuse Mamool Ja's impassioned entreaty, to say nothing of Koda's presence here today. I'm simply fulfilling my duty as Brock's Rocks. Even so, I thank you for your attendance, and I apologize for the wrongs that I've done for you. Do you speak of Mamuk's rejection of the peace forged by Pabil? Or perhaps the tragic accident that befell my daughter 16 years ago? I speak of both. Whether or not our communities join hands is a matter for the next generation to decide. Seeing one and all gathered here today, I have little worry for that future. But some evils cannot be forgotten or forgiven. 16 years ago, an assassin was sent to kill my young daughter, by your order of influence. By your order or influence, I know not, but that fact remains. A sin for which I will forfeit my life if it would help our people choose a path of reconciliation. Forfeiting your life again? I thought you were chided for that after the feat of brotherhood. From what I hear, you were offered friendship and community instead. My daughter would never extend such offers lightly. Your daughter? Wait, you cannot mean... You underestimated the vivacity of my little girl. Today of all days, I'll speak proudly of her strength and compassion as her father. She survived. Well, for this, I am truly grateful. Might as well serve them their own sandwiches. Hey, you guys are part of the feast too, you know? Huh? You alright, buddy? Ah, Coda. Not so long ago, a sight like this would have been inconceivable. Yeah, they didn't just create 8 new bonds here. They also have more types of food. They have new livestock types. Mamool was never a place we could love. Being born here meant to either adhere to the zealotry or escape these forests forever. But now we have something real to be proud of. We owe so much to you, Angeer. Hardly. We've merely assisted. As I recall, it was a certain someone eagerly suggested waivers we were able to establish the granary. Your devotion, Mamool Ja, garnered cooperation of a myriad people, which in turn made Grokkalma blossom. Then we need to make sure each new harvest brings joy to all in the forest. For a Mamool we can actually love. With the cooperation of the Zvalan creation of Tika Selvaz, relations have been improved. Unprecedented cheer fills Mamool and her citizens with to regain pride and love for their homeland, and Grokkalma is a manifestation of their hopes for a brighter future. Yeah, this is this request is basically a direct sequel, and it was, I guess, because... for a couple things. First of all, I think because it's been split over a decent amount of time. Harvest of Hope. Yeah, like I said, this isn't the absolute one, but it's basically the end of the storyline. The last one is going to be an epilogue, mostly. Just having them thank you for your help and all that. Yeah, see? There's one more left. But yeah, that was a good one. There. It had the decent pacing, but also thanks to it being a reputation quest, and also we managed to get things... that way it felt like the payoff was due to hard work, because it wasn't just a few quests done in quick succession. We had to assist here, and then they put all this stuff together, slowly building as we went through it. Like I said, it's not just the attitudes change because we happen to convince, because we happen to beat something or convince them otherwise. It's because we have a visible thing here showing what's happening. Again, I also wish we kind of spent more time in Yoctel here in general, because aside from the Dead baby cave. We kind of don't do much here, period. After all, this is kind of just really the setup for getting Bakul back on over onto our side, and then, well, then Alexandria's plot takes everything. Still, like I said, I do like how this happened. It did feel like we were actually working towards that big finale, rather than it just happened because we happened to gain a level along the way. So, despite this place being split by basically a big cliff here, it's pretty much all just one level area. Ah, well. Like I said, this expansion may have me with mixed feelings, but it did get me actually playing and enjoying the gameplay parts, and perhaps that's something notable in of itself. And like I said, it at least does have parts that do work. Not just this one either. I have yet to see anyone who thinks the Arcadian storyline's bad, for example, so I suppose we'll have to see what the future brings, good or bad. For now, until next time, thank you for watching, hope you had a good time, and I'll see you later.